Seven Seas Quest is a teamwork and organizational development exercise with the main focus on employee engagement, along with the factors that feed into it, including communication, empathy, planning and strategy, clear vision and organizational alignment, trust in colleagues, and the importance of building approachability into the organizational culture. We play with large or small groups, anywhere from 12 to up to hundreds of people at a time. Theoretically, this game can be played with an unlimited number of participants, provided you have the space to do so. Total play time is going to be around 3.5 hours, which includes the 45 minutes of introduction, 15 minutes of planning time, roughly 45 minutes of gameplay, and a solid hour and a half for the debriefing. It's about playing to win and being successful, not just for each team, but as an organization. You'll find teams will have the tendency to compete and view the game as a competition against the others, while in reality, the teams who collaborate with the others, the ones who share resources, exchange ideas and information, and work together towards a common goal with the other teams, will have the best results. My goal with this video is to give you a breakdown of the game mechanics and give you an outside view of the game to help you understand the issues and opportunities and challenges teams are going to face during Seven Seas Quest. One of the main themes for the game is disunengagement, which is the removal of things that people find unengaging. And the main goal of the exercise is to cure the citizens of their country of Kultura, which has been affected by a disease known as Slink's Plague, which has the effect of de-energizing and disengaging the population. In order to cure this, teams must collect two forms of plants, called Orchida, from a pair of islands on the other side of the map. Each type of Orchida is worth 1 point, so if a team returns with 4 blue and 2 red Orchida, they score 6 points. It's a turn-based game lasting 18 turns. Teams are able to move 1 space per turn and must leave Kultura, travel to one or both of the islands, and remain there as long as possible before returning to Kultura by turn 18. Each team is given a set amount of starting resources in the forms of food, water, gold coins, a dinghy, and a life ring. Each turn they spend resources depending on one of 3 weather patterns that exist. For instance, the weather pattern shown here is moderate, but if the weather is hot, they'll consume extra water, and if it's stormy, they'll consume extra food. The other factor which changes each turn is the typhoon. The typhoon is a permanent storm which moves around the center area of the map, and is considered a high-risk option for teams. It is faster and more direct, but if a team is caught by the typhoon, they are forced to spend additional resources that turn. Before leaving Kultura, they can freely trade the resources with the bank, depending on their plan and their strategy. Teams can interact with the local inhabitants on the islands during the game, but they can only purchase food and water using gold coins here. So teams will hopefully plan to plan and allow themselves the chance to adjust their needs as the game evolves. Additionally, teams can trade and interact with each other at any point during the game. A few options also exist for teams to take advantage of. There are 5 of these elements in Quest, and each one gives new abilities, tactics, and information. These options synergize with one another, but it's impossible for one team to acquire all 5 by themselves. So in order for teams to play at optimal levels, they must communicate and work together with the other teams. The first 2 of these items can be found in Kultura at the start of the game. Here they can meet with the fleet surgeon and the pilot, 2 experts who have information which will be beneficial to teams. The first of these is the fleet surgeon, who informs teams that a synergistic effect can be found when collecting the 2 types of Orchida. So if a team returns to Kultura at the end of the game with 6 red Orchida, they would normally receive 6 points. However, if they return with 3 red and 3 blue, they would receive 12 points. The pilot is an ex-navigation expert, who informs teams of a current which runs across the top of the map and then south to Festinia. This allows them to move 2 spaces per turn on their way to the island, saving them time and resources on the initial leg of their journey. The third piece of information is found at the island of Carbinigus by contacting an expert known as the Old Salt. The Old Salt informs teams that the typhoon does have a pattern, and it is possible to navigate through the center of the map on the return to Kultura. In their starting packet, teams are given charts specifically for tracking the typhoon each turn, and they can use these to decipher the pattern and successfully navigate their way back to Kultura. The other 2 pieces of info are given to teams directly, if they pay attention and read the materials they're given. The way we give them out is that during the planning phase, before the game begins, we call the first officer from each team over and have them all get into a group. There, they're all given a crew reassignment form, and told that each of them is to transfer to a different team immediately. Now, this does a couple of things. It does bring into play a change management situation, where the teams are forced to undergo personnel changes during their initial planning phases. The second thing it does is give each of the newly assigned first officers a piece of information to take with them. Each of these reassignment forms will contain one of 2 pieces of information. Some will get item A, some will get item B. Item A tells about the current of Mike, which is a small current that allows teams to move from the Isle of Sunshine to Festinia in one turn, saving them a turn if they choose to travel there. Item B gives teams the ability to split their crews using the dinghy if they chose to keep the one given to them in their starting resources. Having this knowledge allows teams to collect Arcata from each island simultaneously, virtually doubling their overall efficiency. There are a lot of moving parts and variables intentionally built into the game, and it provides teams with a highly interactive and challenging experience. Due to these variables and challenges, it does create a situation where there is a very high ceiling for success. But an important philosophy to remember is this: there are no winners and losers in this game. Nobody fails, but certain teams and groups will have different levels of success. There are a lot of organizational exercises and games out there which do allow teams to die, to fail, or to lose, but from a teaching aspect, from an engagement aspect, a losing team is by very definition easily unengaged and will be less attentive during the debriefing. We try to approach the debriefing of quests with the same mentality. Let's engage participants by focusing on the positives. The teams who didn't optimize their planning and collaboration compared to others know what they did wrong and where they have room to improve. This easily ties into debriefing points of continuous improvement, constant reevaluation of the way we do things, and opening up examples of opportunity for growth. If you have any questions or would like to inquire about purchasing 7 Seas Quest for your organization, please feel free to contact us. We offer upfront pricing for all group sizes, as well as the train-the-trainer materials you need to facilitate this in-house. Thank you for watching, and remember, have fun out there.